everybody. Welcome to Friday of the long weekend. I don't know if you guys are feeling this, but I feel great. Okay, and let's go over again. This is me always never works out that way. What I want to talk about today was like actually 100 different things, but then I was like, we're going through a long weekend. Sometimes people, it can create anxiety. Um, because you're not sure how to do long weekend activities and still be working towards your fitness goals. So, if you've watched my lives before, welcome back. If you are new here, hello, I am Julie. I am a strength coach who has been pushed online, like literally pushed. They shoved me in here. That's why you're stuck with me doing these. Due to the I'm not gonna say the word because I don't care to say it, or they're gonna flag me or some weird shit. I already lost my train of thought. But welcome. If you're new here, welcome. Hope you hang out for a little bit. If this is your first time, get ready to go on a ride. So what we were talking about today is how do you win the weekend? We always talk about winning the week, but how do you win the weekend? So if you've been here before, you know I'm going to say always reflect back and figure out what's going to work. Maybe part of you is like, oh, like maybe I'm going to avoid some things because maybe I don't feel comfortable in a bathing suit, and then it's kind of a bathing suit type weekend. Maybe you're not sure how to approach situations. I'm not sure how many people are going to be around other people this weekend, but I find that's always something where you're like, oh, I'm trying to do this fitness thing, and now I need to talk about it with other people, and so I make sure I'm eating properly, or I'm not gonna do the thing that I want to do and just eat whatever it is, and then I feel bad for myself because I didn't do what I actually wanted to do. So that's a big thing to unpack right there. And then there's also like, I don't care, it's the weekend, I'll do whatever I want. That's something else people say, like they pretend like they don't care. But if you ever say, I don't care, you do care, okay? Like, it's always like, oh, if you're judging someone for something else, it's because you're actually judging yourself for something. It's the same thing. If you're saying you don't care, it's because you do care. You're just not doing the things. You're trying to block them away and pretend like it doesn't bother you, and you're okay. Just okay, let's carry on. Okay, so let's unpack a bunch of that stuff and just legit give you some things you can actually do. Okay, so it's a long weekend. A lot of times that involves drinking. Maybe you're not a big drinker. Maybe I know for me, I'm not a big drinker, but then all of a sudden these weekends come up, and then I'm like, oh, I should drink. Like it's kind of fun, right? Whatever. Or it's kind of like an excuse to go like way overboard with things you maybe did on a smaller scale on other weekends. Also, if you have a coffee, cheers. We do that here. Okay, so actually, coffee is a thing. If you don't want to drink that much, I always say just drink a coffee before you go to that event, or just like have a coffee to start out that evening or whatever it is. Because a lot of times that gives you a bit more pep. You might sometimes I don't know if you guys like when you drink, you end up being able to stay up longer. But if you drink a coffee, you can also stay up a bit longer, but you're not consuming as much alcohol. And we like the alcohol because it like loosens us up a little bit, and we can chat with people more, and we just feel a little more free flowing. I guess coffee, if you're by yourself, it doesn't quite do the same thing, but it does give you like a rush of something, so you're feeling something, which I think we kind of chase with alcohol. So that's something. Have a coffee, even if it's like 5 p.m., whatever. You'll probably find you drink less. I've done that. It's been a tool I've used with clients in the past, and they found it was helpful to not drink as much. Again, these are all things that are just tools, like things to have in your back pocket so that you can see what's going to work in that situation. And again, if you've been here before, I talk about this all the time. It's not about like it's this or this. It's about having different things that you can pull from and see what's going to work best for that situation or whatever. Okay, also try to plan in advance. And I know that can be hard if you're going to see other people, um, to like be like, hey, like for me personally, like I follow kind of an autoimmune paleo type diet just because I do have an autoimmune condition, and I don't love announcing that every time I go somewhere, but I feel like if I'm just like, hey, these are my kind of food boundaries, or I really make sure like what are we all eating together? Are we kind of in charge of our own meals? Like what's going on here? So then I've kind of I always open that conversation. I don't rely on other people to open it for me because that's when you're gonna get disappointed. Um, I made a post about that, not in this group, but on my business page and Instagram if you're on there about what I can't even remember the words now, but what actually being empowered being empowered is, or what being entitled is. So entitled is when you feel like someone needs to close the gap between like your goals and your circumstances. You're like, it's their fault, it's this fault, it's this. That's being entitled, and that feels gross. And we don't want that. I wouldn't say we don't want that, but it's good to be aware from it and learn from it, and then being like, how can I close the gap within my circumstances and my goals? And sometimes that is doing uncomfortable things, like being like, hey everyone, I eat a very high protein diet, so I'm totally cool to bring extra protein or the types of proteins I need to eat. Same if you're like vegan or vegetarian, you got to do the same thing, right? You're not just gonna show up and be like, "We got burgers only," and then you're just like, "Oh fuck, well I can't eat that." And I mean, you can't if you didn't say something, you cannot sulk in the corner and blame other people. Okay, so planning ahead, figuring out what do you need to do to make sure you stay on track. That being said, maybe you're like, honestly, I've been so good for weeks. I don't like using the term good, but okay, we'll get into that in another chat. But I've been really like following my targets and hitting them great. Um, what's the worst thing that's gonna happen if I don't follow it exactly this weekend? Like, think of what's the worst case scenario, whatever that is. Like, it's going to be different for everybody, right? Like, the worst case scenario is I'm going to eat for 48 hours straight and binge drink. That's probably not going to happen. I mean, eating for 48 hours straight, oh, holy jeez. Maybe binge drink, that could be something. What's the worst thing that's going to happen from that, right? Like, really, honestly, play out that worst case scenario in your head and then see how bad is it really, and then look at what is the best case scenario. What does that look like? And then maybe what you need to do is just figure out where you're going to be comfortable on that continuum, on that scale. Where are you okay with being? And then maybe what's the worst case if that happens, right? Like if you binge drink, maybe you're going to sleep. You're gonna need to sleep for 3 days, or if you're like me, the whole next week's fucked up. So then that might make you think like, oh fuck, I don't want to miss Monday, even though Monday's a holiday, but like I don't want to miss my workouts again on Monday. So kind of thinking ahead, you can avoid feeling not great later. You can feel a little bit, but just figure out what your expectation is, and manage that in advance. So that was a huge verbal diarrhea about how to plan. Just some things to consider. I feel like this is the second May long weekend we've had that has been in like a lockdown. So maybe I honestly can't remember what happened last year at this time. I don't honestly have no idea. Being in the fitness industry, not a lot has changed with things opening in regards to being a trainer. So I've pretty much just been in the lockdown this entire time. Things have not been open for me. So that could be different for you. And then again, a whole year's gone by. What you're comfortable with now is different. So I know I'm always saying things are different, you have to figure it out, but I do truly believe in order for you to be successful, you have to figure out what works for you. And this kind of goes back to you feeling entitled and saying I don't care. And the thing is, you do care, you're just scared to fail, okay? And if you're so scared to fail, you never even get started. You're never gonna do it. Anyways, guys, that was a huge verbal diarrhea. Anyway, some nutrition things was like quickly after that big deep thing. Okay, so quickly, maybe just try to drink more water. Like, figure out, do you have one of these guys? I don't know about you guys, but because it's so much warmer out, I drink way less coffee. I don't want to drink as much coffee, but I am annihilating bottles of water. Also, continuing to not do my hair. I'm gonna shave it off. Do you think it'll look good? I'm doing it. I don't give a fuck. Okay, so things, drink more water. Just make sure you have it with you at all times. Vegetables. If there's a way you could have more fresh fruits and vegetables, like if you're going to be outside more, I don't know if you're like cottaging, barbecuing, camping, whatever it is, just more fresh food, okay? I know for a long time we've been like stockpiling all these like processed foods. Try to limit that. And just get out and move more. Like maybe this is a great weekend to kind of, if you haven't been doing anything, to maybe just reset what you've been doing. Be like, you know what? I don't have all these like work pressures, or it's a long weekend and you just feel like, you know, I don't know, it's kind of like when you wake up Friday or Saturday morning and you don't feel all that like shitty stress from the week. Like you're just like, I don't really have to do anything. Like I can do all these things and I will get to these responsibilities I have, but you're not so like, okay, let's fucking hustle it out. So maybe it's a good time to reset some stuff. Get some extra walks in. Maybe you can go swimming somewhere. I don't know. Whatever it is you like. Set the tone for what you want your summer to be like. Write some stuff down. Again, we got to go back and reflect on what was good and what wasn't good. Who do you want to be? Right? Like all these things, like all these like exercise and nutrition plans, they're awesome. Like you need to have that framework to get you where you want to go. But if you're not fixing, I don't want to say fixing, if you're not working on things on yourself and who you do want to be, how do you identify, what are your core values? If you don't work on those things, you can achieve whatever fitness goal it is and you're still not going to be happy. So that's my blurb for today, guys. I'm going to end it there. I hope you guys have a great weekend. I think if things feel like they're kind of shitty or you don't want to do them, but you know you should do them, or they're like, I don't want to say you should do them, but sometimes you're just like, oh, I just don't feel like doing my workout or whatever it is. How can you make it fun? Like, what can you do to make the things you don't love doing fun? And I think that's something awesome to reflect on. And you can put that to anything in life. Okay? So, have an amazing weekend, everybody. I will see you all next week. Hopefully, with a bit more time. Enjoy your weekend. Bye.